Everybody's having a good night. If those of you who are in chat or watching, if you have any questions, please drop comment, question, all that good stuff. Scott Mulder, I missed your comment earlier. Yes, you do not subscribe in Arizona to daylight savings time, so you missed it. But I'm sure you'll be in here pretty soon. So yeah, so fun stuff. I hope everybody's having a good night tonight, election night. It's going to be pretty crazy, I imagine. I mean, already people are online going crazy and all that. But a little bit of house cleaning. We're going to talk about a lot of things tonight. We're going to talk about someone very special that me, Eric, and Tom are going to have on the Vlog of Many Things this Thursday. Very interesting individual. We're going to get in that in a moment. We're going to talk about a few new products coming out Wizard Tower Games. We're going to show them to you. Scott, how you doing? And we're going to go into, again, just products and everything, all kinds of cool stuff. Now, this Thursday, who are we having? Ken Whitman will be on our show. Now, for those of you who do not know who Ken Whitman is, Ken Whitman is some call him notorious, some call him well-known. He was covered largely by Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern. I think Tom Veralt from Tabletop did this stuff on him. I think Cinder Shadow covered him. I mean, a lot of people covered Ken Whitman a few years ago, and Ken pretty much died off and got into acting. Parasocial audience, how you doing tonight? Hope you're having a good day. So Ken Whitman is going to be on the show, okay? And we've talked to Ken, and the nice thing about Ken is he has agreed to talk unfiltered, no script, raw, just answer our questions as they come. So that's going to be a really interesting thing with Ken. So yeah, I'm really excited about having Ken on. So that'll be on Thursday starting at 8 o'clock Eastern time. Scott, Eastern time, daylight savings time. Remember, we kind of do that. Okay.
We fell back an hour.
Yes. Well, Scott's from Arizona, I believe, and I don't think they follow daylight savings time over there. I think they're one of the few states that don't. But yeah, so he's going to be going ahead and being on our show. Me, Eric, and Tom are going to interview him. Like I said, we're going to be talking about a lot of stuff with Ken. I talked to Ken real briefly on Facebook Messenger via the Vlog of Many Things channel. And like I said, Ken's been gracious enough to say, I'll answer your questions. I'll, take it as it comes. And as of yesterday, he definitely confirmed that he will be on. So that's good. So yeah. So other than that, tonight's election night. Very important night in our country. For those of you overseas, it's gonna be a wing banger. Scott Mulder says we are unique, and then Parasocial Audience says, when will Wizard Tower put out an election-based game or a based election game? Yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
Yeah. Don't give my wife any ideas. St. Cuthbert, how are you doing? Well, no matter who you vote for, it's important. I don't get into who I voted for, but me and my wife went tonight. We did vote, you vote for your conscience, you vote for what you believe is best. And as long as you walk out of the voting booth and you feel like you did the right thing, then guess what? You did the right thing. That's all I'm going to say about it. There. There's a lot of people though online. And I got to call out Eric Tenkar on this from Tenkar's Tavern. Eric posted a very innocent meme, I believe it was yesterday, just said, I can get along with everybody. And as last looked, I think it has like over 150 comments on it. And it's went way downhill after that. Me and Eric was talking on the phone today, and Eric was like, didn't mean it that way. I didn't take it that way, but it's the way it goes. All right, let's get into some fun stuff. We are getting ready this weekend to premiere a lot of different product on Wizard Tower Games. I'm going to talk a little bit about a couple of the products. I'm going to show a couple of you. Tina, what do you want to start with? Want to start with Life Wheels, Dice Bags? What do you want to start with?
Ooh, you know what? Since Life Wheels have to do with death and dying and spinning, let's do Dice Bags.
Okay. All right. We
Keep
are coming
them in
out.
suspense.
Yeah, the life wheels actually are pretty cool.
Those are really cool.
Yeah, the Scott Mulder said, if you make a game with cartoon characters like Toon, it could be a hilarious game. Actually, I do have a kids RPG coming out called Orcs and Ogres, and it's designed to do introductory teaching kids how to play. And Orcs and Ogres are funny and fun. They're not vile and evil creatures like regular D&D. All right, dice bags. Now, dice bags are kind of a mundane thing with most gamers, but if you're looking for a good quality dice bag, my wife makes them. And she's made right now, you got what, about 36 different colors and such?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
I'm working on some more too.
Yeah, this
Some
is my
really fun
personal
colors.
one. Yeah, this is my personal one my wife made me. It's Donkey Kong because I'm an old guy and I love Donkey Kong from back in the day. But what she does is she custom sews them. They're custom made. Like she made custom interior for me, orange, and D20s for the pull strings. But she also has, like as an example, we've got D&D fabric for those of you who are looking at it, and different colors. Like I said, she has all. Good.
I have another wild, dark, tealish
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
But then I have some that I haven't even cut out, like the orange and yellow. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but.
Yeah. And I've got a bunch of them. I've been photographing them, trying to get a photograph of the dice bag itself and also the interior. These are not these cheap Chinese knockoff Velcro ones. These are really nice, nicely sewn, handcrafted, really good quality, and they're pretty good size. I mean, they hold a lot of dice. And
they're about 10 inches tall and 7 wide.
Yeah, about 7 by 10 on the flat square. Parasocial audience, real quick. I'm going to address some comments here. Parasocial audience says, I didn't vote for Trump today. I thought about it, but somehow it didn't feel right, mainly because I'm not American. Yeah. And for those of you who aren't from the United States and hear all this rhetoric online that they don't check IDs, they let illegal aliens vote, that's actually BS because they were very specific, like it was last time. I took my daughter Alyssa last time to vote because she just turned 18, and tonight me and my wife went. They check your ID, versus the voter rolls. They make sure that you're authorized. Scott Mulder says, so here's something missing from the dice bag market: extra large dice bags. I have a bunch of the large 30 millimeter giant poly dice. It's difficult to find bags that work for them. You know what? These might. I mean, these are some pretty big sized bags. I mean, I'm spreading my hand apart and can't barely get it to spread apart here. I mean, these are pretty good size big bags, Scott.
Yeah, if a 7 by 10 doesn't fit, I can make them larger.
Yeah, but to let everybody know, they're going to be in our shop this week, and they're going to be basically $19. And like I said, there's like 30 some odd different color combinations interior, and Tina makes them all the time. So as an example, I'm even going to have like a custom area where you can ask for like an interior color or whatnot, but we're going to try to work that out because all fabric ain't available all the time. So something may be available that she has, then she makes dice bags with it. It may not be available next week. So that's might be a little bit tough. Scott goes, if you made the game with the cartoon character, oh, sorry about that. I'm a little bit behind the curve here. Those are Warhammer sized dice. Actually, there's regular size polyhedral is what I have in mind. And then St. Cuthbert says, name of bags. Bags are holding small, medium, large. At this point, St. Cuthbert, there's only one size. But if they begin to sell and people are positively responding to them, what we'll do is we can maybe put out a smaller dice bag. This, for me personally, this I would consider a large dice bag to me. I mean, Gunther the Man says there's no such thing as too big a dice bag. I agree with you, but I mean, this is a pretty good sized bag. And like I said, this right here probably has 30 dice in it, 40 dice in it, So, and it's not even a third full, or maybe a quarter at best. So they might hold 100, 150 dice. They're pretty good size. So like I said, $19 on our website starting this weekend, and they're in stock. So what you can do is you're going to be able to go to the image. You'll see what the outside of the bag looks like. Like in this case, it'll be this, and then we'll have a photograph of what the interior looks like. So this pattern with a red interior, and I think she has like yellow and blue interior for this pattern. Like I said, she's got all kinds of
purple.
stuff. Yeah, all kinds of them. So
And Don,
yeah,
what you don't know is I have been experimenting downstairs in what you call my bat cave.
yeah.
But I have experimented, and it's not totally finished, but I do have a smaller one too.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm testing it out, seeing how the sewing machine likes it, how it
Yep.
moves around, and
Yep.
we can go from there.
Yep. Scott Mulder mentions the Crown Royal bags. Oh yeah, those were the thing back in the day when I was. I know they're still popular, but boy, you get your hand in Crown Royal bags, you were doing something. And then St. Cooper says those are rookie numbers, 40 dice. You know what? You're right, but I'll be honest with you. I just carry my dice that I like to play with, a couple sets, And then Gunther says 40 dice, then rookie numbers also. See, I'm getting shit from people because I'm only putting like 30, 40 dice in my bag. That's okay. I deserve it. But also this weekend, I don't have a picture of it, but I'll have pictures up. We're going to be posting them before the weekend, probably tomorrow. We have a thing called campaign trackers. And what campaign trackers are, they're for people who play more modern day D&D, but also we have a campaign tracker designed for people who play older versions of D&D. And what they are is, in the very front, they are spiral-bound, wire-bound books with sturdy covers. You open them up, and inside is a very nice and unique player character record sheet. There's ability to track equipment and spells and magical items. And then also, as the character grows, you're going to be doing things like there's notes on adventures, treasure. If you have a familiar, as an example, if you have a pet, things like that, people you've met, important notations. And if you go ahead and you go into an adventure, you'll be able to track like who hired you, what was the deal, what was the lore behind it. It's just an overall good campaign tracker. And those are going to run right around $20. And they're nice. They're really nice, heavy duty record for your character. So we're going to be having those on. And what else? Life wheels.
Life wheels. These are really cool. Yeah. I don't have one downstairs though.
Yeah. Now everybody who plays D&D, a role-playing game, Magic the Gathering, anything that requires points, okay? And I expect once I show this, there's going to be some yo-yo that's going to take it and steal the idea and copy it. But you hear it here first. As you know, what's the biggest pain in the ass us D&D players have? And that is, one of them is we always have to constantly erase and rewrite the life points or hit points of our characters. They take hit point damage, or even if we keep something on the side, we got to keep notes and everything. There's no convenient way of doing it until now. That's it right there, the life wheel. The life wheel is basically a 2-windowed door. The top one is 10 to 300. The bottom one is 0 or negative 10 to 10, plus 10. So as an example, if your character has 22 life points, you have 20 and 2, that's 22 life points. And as your character takes damage, all you got to do is adjust your wheel to accommodate. When you're done with it, you throw it in your book. It fits flat between the covers of your book. Doesn't damage your book. It's not bulky. They're laminated heavy. They'll last forever. And they're extremely unique. We're going to put these out and we're going to sell them. At this point, we're going to be right around the $12 mark for them. Right around there. They're going on sale this weekend. We have 2 different versions at this point. We have one with like a magical gem front, and then we have a warrior, female warrior on the front. And they're called life wheels. And like I said, they're designed to keep track of your hit points. So like I said, one of the really cool things about it is, and I can show you, if you have a book, You just simply open the book up, toss the life wheel inside the front cover. Oops, sorry, this got floppy. And you close your book, and it doesn't hurt your book at all. So you can go ahead and you can just throw them in, store them in. Scott Mulder says you could make one dice bag look like a moonshine bottle that says North Carolina no tax. Yeah, exactly, Scott. No tax, no sales tax.
You know, we do have the vinyl cutter.
Yeah, we do, don't we? We do have a vinyl cutter. I can make more shirts. Anyone want a shirt? I got an interesting shirt idea.
I still need one with all my titles.
Yeah, all your titles. But the thing is the life wheels, like I said, they're going to be on our site for sale this weekend. Like I said, they're really cool. You just simply rotate the wheel around, and you go to each space. Like I said, anywhere between 0 to 300 in tens on top, and then increments of -10 to +10 on or 9, excuse me, on the bottom. So you could start, just as you're taking damage, you adjust your life wheel. It sits down flat on the table. They're laminated, so if you set something wet down on it, or if you throw it in something wet, it doesn't hurt the wheel at all. They're waterproof. So yeah, this is something that we've developed. We developed this actually a long time ago, and we just never marketed it. We are going to be going for a patent on it, so it will be patent pending. And yeah, so really cool stuff. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do an initial sale on them on the first batch, because the first batch has Wizard Craft Games, because originally I was going to call my game company Wizard Craft Games, and I'm going Wizard Tower, and I had made a bunch of these in anticipation. So it's moot. It'll have a label on the back that's proper and everything, but like I said, this is just something that's really cool for game players, and it's not just for D&D. Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, anything that you go ahead and you keep point scores on, you can go ahead and you can utilize the life wheel on these. And again, like I said, for those just joining us because our count's going up, they're waterproof. You can lay them in water on accident, just wipe them off. Handy from 0 to 300 points or -10 to 300 points. So you can even track to points where you're to the point where your player's unconscious and your player dies. So yeah, those will be on the thing. I already have more design. Eventually what we're going to do is we're going to have about 6 different designs. And when you order it, it'll come nicely packaged like this. So, and we have proper UPC codes registered in the back of our products. So if you're a game shop and you buy them wholesale, all you have to do is scan the UPC code and you put it into your database and you can track inventory with it. So our stuff is all done legitimately because we know what an ISBN is. Voldemort doesn't. Any UPC code. Yeah. So other than that, our Patreon is getting ready to also be fired up to let everybody know. For those of you who are thinking about going to our Patreon, one of the things that you're going to get as part of our Patreon is we're going to have several different Thaiatus, how you doing? Thanks for tuning in. We're going to have several different levels. We're going to think initially have 3 levels, not several, 3 levels. At one of the levels, you're going to get every single month, you're going to get for being a Patreon, you're going to get what I call adventure packs. We're going to sell those in our shop, and what they are a couple of maps or 2 or 3. And inside is you get the maps all laid out, pre-done. You get a different kind of monster in there, a new fresh monster that's different and new and unique. And also it's all stock. So if you want a quick adventure on the fly, you get an adventure pack and you can play it, and you'll be getting those for free when you are a Patreon. Also at the top tier level of Patreon, you're going to get the adventure pack, but also you're going to get once a month a game with me. I'm going to hold a game for my Patreons. I'm going to run 2 games per month you can sign up for. One is a 5e game, and one is a OSR, probably something in the basic AD&D mix level. So that's going to be that. And plus, if you go to the top level Patreon, you're also going to be able to sit in monthly and do a test play session for our role-playing game that we are developing. And you're going to get like early level access to certain things. Like as an example, if you were a Patreon, what you're going to get is you'd get like early access to these things at a severe discount and also free product. Like every month, I'm going to do one Patreon from each level, and they're going to get something for free. So yeah, fun stuff. So Patreon's going up also on this one. Also, I owe an apology to somebody here in chat. Thyatis, my friend, I apologize to you. I was supposed to get to you about a week ago, your feedback on your RPG. I have just, as my wife, I have been slammed here with stuff. So I just have not had a chance to go all the way through it and give you my feedback, but I'm almost done with it. I will say this, so far so good. I got a little feedback on a couple small things, but just my opinion. You asked for it, I'll give it, okay? So Scale Forge, how you doing, Brooklyn? Hope life is well. And then also across the bottom of the screen, some of you are seeing www.goblinsgames.com. Now, I want to explain something to you. Back in the late 90s, into the early 2000s, I had a gaming forum called Goblins Games. And at the height of Goblins Games, I had almost 10,000 members, active members, posting constantly and doing. We were actually part of the large Calibor project, the world building project Goblins Games was. We met, or we won a internet award for forums, for our gaming forum. And what happened was I screwed up. I let my URL go. Well, back then, URLs, once you let it lapse, it kind of like went away. You didn't get a grace period. And I did not know this. And what happened was a game shop on the East Coast, a hobby shop, bought it because they were going to start a hobby shop called Goblins Games. And I admit, I have been scoping that since like 2002. Or excuse me, 2004, excuse me. And I've been waiting. And it's like, oh, they're never going to go out. I'm not trying to be mean, but it's like, oh, they're never going to give it up. The other day, they let it go. I gobbled it up. And we now have a new web forum. It's on goblinsgame.com. It is a traditional forum like EndWorld or RPG forums, but I'm running it a little bit different. EndWorld, I'm a member of that. I love what Morris is doing with it. EndWorld is extremely strict on content and certain things. We're a little bit more lax. RPG Forums, which is run by the RPG Pundit, is a little bit unlax on a lot of stuff, and we're kind of like in that sweet spot in the middle. We have what do we got? We've got everything from D&D discussions, Magic the Gathering. It's tabletop gaming in general, is what it is. So it's not just RPGs. And for those of you who want to do gaming inside of there, if you sign up, let me know. What I will do is I will go ahead and I will provide you a private gaming space where your friends who join Goblins Games can go ahead and log in and go into your own private chat space where nobody else can go to it, nobody else can see it, and you guys can game privately. So there it is. One quick second. Let me check something. Let's take a look here. My apologies. Brooklyn, I'll get to you in a little bit. Let me get down my live real quick. Scaleforged says massive fibro flare-ups. Oh, I hope you are feeling better, Brooklyn. Thaddeus, no, don't worry about it. You know, I said I'm going to get to it, and I feel bad when I don't get to it. Like I said, I have just been really slammed. Getting the web forum up, Goblins Games, has been important. My wife knows all about my big large-scale 3D printers. I got to get those reset up and done. Jim Wampler did a post on Facebook the other day. Jim Wampler, for those of you who don't know, is really into 3D printing. And he discovered something unique. He couldn't figure out why in his resin printer, his builds weren't sticking to the build plate. And of all things, you know what this guy does to solve the problem? He realizes that it's the temperature of his resin. Now, my wife is going, oh, geez, because she knows Jim Wampler. It's hard telling, right? He's like me, you know? Maybe that's why me and Jim get along so well. So what he does is there's these belts that you use for brewing beer, and they heat up and they bring the temperature up. He wraps this belt around his 3D printer to heat up the printer and the resin. It fixed it. See, the large formats that I use, the larger commercial ones, the plates are heated. So the resin actually gets warmed up in the vat. But Jim needed that thing to warm up. Boom. Scaleford says, I got a bunch too. Yes, you do. And he also says, she says, you got 2 Bamboo P1Ps, 1 P1S, and 1 A1 Mini, and 2 Neptune 4 Pluses. Yes, you do. And you know what? I still say Elegoo's better than Bamboo Lab. It's a joke between me and Brooklyn. Me and Brooklyn kind of go back and forth over the better printer. It's like my friend Steve Lake. My wife knows Steve really. I've known Steve for 20 years. Steve's a big Linux fan. And whenever he has problems with a computer, I always tell him to get a Windows machine. He laughs at me. But yeah, basically, what I've been really busy with the 3D printing parts of it. I've got Goblins games. I've got a life-size Han Solo and Carbonite for a game shop up in Connecticut called the Battlegrounds. Go there. His name is Jared. Jared, if you're watching, brother, this guy had a game. Talk about success. He's a hobby and game shop in Connecticut. He has gotten so big. He's expanded like 10 times bigger. He got a liquor license. He now serves beer and stout in his game shop. And I am making him his centerpiece display, a life-size Han Solo and Carbonite, all lit up and everything, and such. Scale Ford says, fine, then get an Ultimaker. Yeah. Scale Ford also says, have fun spending $8K for a lousy printer. Oh, first of all, I didn't spend $8K for my printer, madam. And not only that, fine, I will. And then Scott Mulder says, what about Wizard Tower Games Dice Tower? Okay, 3D printing. What am I doing? I plan on getting into some dice towers, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the dice towers out of resin as a master. And I'm going to use my prop making skills. My wife knows all about making molds, resin, and silicone. Yep. What I'll do is I'm going to take the master and make pieces, and then I'll mold them in resin. I'll make silicone molds, Scott, and then I'll pour it in heavy duty resin. One of the problems with resin that you're going to find, and this is a warning to anybody watching the video here that are thinking about making minis, they're thinking about doing stuff like that. That all works really good on a temporary basis. But one of the problems with resin is that when you take resin and you cure it, you use a UV light. Some people put it out in the sun and all that because resin's a little bit soft until UV light hits it and then it hardens. The problem that you have with this is, and this was actually a problem discovered with model builders, my forte before I got into game making, is that like if you make something and you print it in 3D printed resin, and then let's say you set it out someplace, well, there's natural ambient UV light. After a while, it gets brittle and it'll break. It will. Thaida says, give us a pick when you're done with the centerpiece that sounded pretty awesome. Scale Forces, yeah, that's quicker. It keeps hardening. Yes, it keeps hardening and it becomes very brittle. I actually, they're fine for minis, especially if you paint the mini. If you paint the mini and you paint the mini like with a good quality primer first, that usually will block out the UV rays and you can usually get away with those. So they're pretty good. But also there's a new type of 3D printing that I'm going to be, well, it's not really new. I'm going to be getting into it. The printers are pricey, but what they do is it's a photometric style printing. So what it does is it uses a special powder. And what happens is you have a vat full of powder and there's a laser, and the laser actually blasts into this vat of fine talcum-like silica type powder, and it'll build the mini. It was primarily done in Hollywood, and they use it a lot for very high-end stuff. Like as an example, in the Star Wars where they showed Darth Vader's helmet with Kylo Ren, that helmet was actually done via that process, and it's still in at Lucasfilm Ranch. So it's a 3D printing, but you don't need supports, and along with you don't need supports because it builds it as it goes and it cures it as it goes. it doesn't get brittle over time. So it's very, very durable. And they also use them in 3D manufacturing for parts that are going to be used like for testing and such. ScaleForge says either paint primer stops it from growing brittle, yes, and then no supports needed, yes. So what are we going to get into with 3D printing? All right, what Wizard Tower Games is going to get into formally is we're going to be doing a variety of printing. We're going to be doing a line of minis. And I'm also going to start pretty soon offering, and my wife is going to shake her head because she knows me.
Oh no.
Pretty soon we're going to be offering model kits of very unique
that's not
things.
bad.
Yeah, not as bad as it could be, right with me?
I do enjoy designing like the Goblin Games, the little icons and stuff too. So
yeah, Tina has
you got to get. I have to go between the workshop and the computer and design.
Yeah, she'll come my workshopper in here and she'll kind of sit down with me, and like we did the other night, I was trying to work out a logo for Goblins Games and she helped me out with it. But basically we're going to be doing model kits. Now, what type of model kits are we doing? Stuff that nobody else in this market does, and that is things like this. Do you want to build your own Aliens pulse rifle? We're going to sell you the kit that you can build it yourself. If you want to go ahead and you want to build we're going to do Aliens pulse rifles. We're going to be doing Alien motion trackers, the Sulaco ship from Aliens. We're going to be offering a variety of 3D printed figures and such, and also larger figures. Like as an example for WizardCon, instead of going out and just going to like some trophy place and buying a trophy, I'm actually going to make a figure, a series of figures, and I'm going to paint and finish them, and then I'll coat them in metallic, and I'm going to give those away as trophies for the various things that we're going to be doing. We're going to be doing contests and such. St. Cuthbert says, I'd like a Wizard Tower Games t-shirt, not 100% cotton. Gotta have some stretch material to wrap my belly. We all got a belly, St. Cuthbert. Amen. You know what? I got a question for people. If we started putting t-shirts on our website, like with the Wizard Tower logo or other logos, let me know in the chat. Would people be interested in that kind of stuff? I'm talking about right around the $18 price point for a good quality cotton mix tee. Let me know, because I've got like 80 some odd different designs, and I've just always hesitated putting them on. ScaleForge says ScaleForge manufacturing has a sublimation section for clothing soon. Yeah, but you're in the Netherlands. Get your butt back to the States, Meinherr, and we'll get hooked up. Scott Mulder says, take my money. Yes. So model kits we're going to be doing, we're going to be offering things like X-Wing kits. We're going to be offering things like that. And for those of you who say, well, ain't that a violation of other people's IP like Disney and such? Yes and no. Disney kind of has a philosophy when it comes to garage build. They're called garage build kits. As long as you don't become too stupid about it, and as long as you don't call it the trademark name, like I wouldn't call the model an X-Wing fighter. I would call it like the X ship. Tina knows all about this from the years I was involved in prop making. They will tolerate it. Okay. And no, you're not violating any law by buying a model and making it. So we're going to be doing things like that. I'm not going to be building models or anything like that. I already do that on the side for some people. It'd have to be a very special person for me to make a model. But if you want to make these model kits, these are things you just cannot get. Like I said, pulse rifle, Aliens, motion tracker, the Logan's Run Sandman pistol. I have that I custom made. Things like, I'm trying to think what else is there besides. You got the X-Wing, the Vader TIE Fighter. Oh, the full size 4-foot Battlestar Galactica. And then also, for those of you who want to do it, my wife has banned me from doing it, or I would. I want to build me a 5-foot Millennium Falcon. She laughs, but she knows me. Would I do it?
Well, I just don't. You would do it. Oh yeah.
I don't got room. Okay.
But you don't have room for my Tiger tank either.
Yeah, what I want to do is I want to build a half scale, or excuse me, a 1/3 scale um, uh, Stug. Either that or
Oh,
Stug
it
or a
has to be
Tiger
a
tank.
tiger.
Yeah, my wife has a thing about German Tiger tanks. My wife, this woman right here, I got the coolest wife in the world. Guess what she does? She wants me to build her large scale World War II German Tiger tank models, paint them and weather them, and I'm allowed to put them in the living room.
Because they're my tigers.
Yes. Um,
But I
Scott
need
said,
a 60% scale running tiger tank with
no,
actual wheels that
it
I
has to
can
be
drive
one.
around the
It has to be one
backyard.
third. She's
One
not joking.
third?
We talked about this. It has to be 1/3 scale. A buddy of mine built a half scale World War II Sherman tank. He's on YouTube. Um, and I'll post a link on this video when I'm all done. He a half scale Sherman tank, and I want to do a 1/3 scale Tiger, and he put a lawnmower engine in it. It's doable. Real quick, Scott Mulder says the Blade Runner pistol. Yes, I actually, Scott, if you go on my Facebook page, look at my pictures. I actually just made one. Scale Forge B-Wing. Yes, studio scale B-Wing. They're massive. Go to the man said you had to be at Logan's Run. Isn't that such a classic show? Scott Mulder says B-Wing seconded. Yes, I can sell B-Wing kits. And I'll be honest with you, like for Scott, for you or people in this chat that I know, I'd even build it for you if you wanted me to, or I'd at least build it to where you could paint it. It's up to you. I'd be doing those things. Thieta says German Tigers are pretty cool, but I still feel like the Russian tanks were better. They just had no one who could run them properly. Interesting, Thietis. I built a 1/16 scale T-34, and I gave it to Tim. I gifted it to Tim Kask. It's Tim Kask's favorite World War II tank. I actually drove down there last summer and delivered it to him. He actually has now one of my builds in his computer area. A large,
he was really excited too.
Yeah, and keep in mind, a 1/16 scale tank is probably as wide as your shoulders. They're big. Gunther says, I appreciate enthusiasm, but why not a Panther? The Panther is my favorite flipping German tank, and I have a 1/16 scale or German Panther Gunther right down there, a full interior. I just have not built it because the full interior kits take so long to make with the interiors. And then St. Cuthbert says, you had me in Panzerkampfwagen. I agree. Yeah. Right now, I mean, I've got the Stug, I've got the Tiger. I actually have a Tiger built over here. I got to get the wheels and weather for Tina. I have a Sturm Tiger, which is the Tiger with the 280 millimeter mortar on it. I have that. I've got a American Sherman a Firefly. I've got a Panzer IV, a Panzer I. I got several German large scale tanks. Scaleforge says the Panzerkampfwagen 8 Maus, Alphabet Ferdinand Porsche. The Maus is big. It's the largest tank of World War II. I think there's only they thought only 4 or 6 were made, and the Russians have one on display. I don't think there's any more on display. And then Thieta says, well, crap, if this is the route we're going, why not an A-10? Hey, an A-10 is a cool aircraft. And they do make them. They make them in 1/35 or 1/32 scale, which is probably about this long. They're big aircraft. And also up there, I've got a 1/32 scale Heinkel HE-111, which is the World War II German bomber. And the wingspan on it is almost like 3 feet almost. It's massive model. Scaleforge says 2 are made and they're 188 tons. Yeah. Scott Motor says, I got the Togon Volkswagen. Yeah. In your driveway, 230 millimeter armor all the way around. Yeah. It was a beast. The Maybach. It was the Maybach Scaleforge, not the Maybach. It was the Maybach, the 200 or 230 HL engine, which, for those of you who don't know, this tank was so big, not only did they have the primary engine, they also had secondary motors to turn the wheels because it was so flipping big. Big beast of a thing. But so that's what we're going to be getting into. We're going to be getting into model kits that are very high-end 3D printed. And also the secondary service. Now, for those of you who are familiar with it, you can go to a place called, here I'm getting ready to talk about it, I forget the name of it. ScaleForge, help me out here, my friend. It's an online place where you can buy STL files called, any rate, if you go online and you find a 3D printed file that you like, let's say it is that mouse, or let's say it is a starfighter or a figure, or you have a bunch of figures and you don't got a printer, we're going to be offering 3D printing services. So for a very nominal fee, what will happen is you will go to our new website we're getting ready to go live with this weekend, and you'll select custom 3D printing. You'll fill out the form, and then you'll upload your print files, your STL files. And then what we will do is we will print those. And one of the things that we do is we offer one of two things, because when you upload a file, you have the original still. We will either delete the file when done, or we will save the file for later if you want us to print it later on. It is up to you. If you have a commercial license for it, and you can show us proof that you purchased the commercial license for it, and you want us to print a lot of copies because you want to sell it, then you can do that and we'll print you copies. But that's going to be one of the services that we're going to be offering. High resolution printing in ABS or PLA. I would suggest ABS, it's harder. And then also we're going to be offering high-end custom resin printing, because our printers will do up to 14K resolution. And when you're doing a figure, even something larger, 14K is really well. So if you got the file, you need it printed, we're going to be your guy and gal. We'll be able to get it printed for you. So that's going to be some things that we're going to be doing. Custom 3D printing. New stores going up here this weekend also. We're redesigning it, making it more user-friendly, more products going on there. Like I said, we got the life wheels. We've got, stickers. We got a ton of stickers that we're doing, fun sayings on them, that type of thing. Those are going to be on. We've got pins, and I think I've got one around here. Any rate, we got keychains. We've got custom keychains, look like a dog tag. You don't have anything put on them. We're going to be doing coffee mugs, nice big 16-ounce heavy coffee mug, not those 12 or 14s that most places do. Nice big 16-ounce heavy coffee mugs, variety of things you can go on them. Or you can send us a photograph or an image and we'll put it on your coffee mug for you. Also, big traveler mugs that are insulated, and mouse pads. Also, what else, Tina?
You'll have your haunted ruins on the website, and maybe a gonk.
I make gonks. For those of you who don't know what a gonk is, it is the little 2-foot robot in Star Wars. They sit about waist high. I light them up. They light up and everything. And, for those of you who call them gonks, because they make a sound, it's called gonk, gonk. They run around going gonk. So for those of you who are Star Wars freaks like me, you can have your own gonk, and I even custom paint them, color them the way you want and all that. We're going to have at least 2 or 3 at WizardCon at our booth. So, trying to think what else, Tina. We've got gonks, custom models. We've got that.
My quilt.
Yeah, Tina's a big quilter. And for those of you who don't know, if you go on the Wizard Tower Games Facebook page, you'll see one of the custom quilts she made. It's the dragon quilt. Really, really nice quilt. And for those of you who want to know about this real quick, I'll let her delve deeper in a moment, but I'll enter it like this. Tina just doesn't buy stuff and sew it together and that's it. Everything is hand cut, hand sewn. It annoys the ever-loving shit out of me. I can't even watch it do it because it blows my OCD up. Scott, the gonk is full size. They run roughly about 38 inches tall, just about waist high is what they are. So Tina, tell them about your quilts.
I just go out and I buy some from high quality quilt shops, so the material's really nice. And then I like to put the quilt together in my head first. I like to imagine it,
She
and
does.
then I do. It drives Don crazy. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
And then I cut out the pattern, um, cut out the fabric, design my pattern, and I just build from there. And um, I like to make some quilts like lap size quilts, just to cover your legs and stuff to keep
Oh,
you warm.
real
Yeah.
quick. That's another thing, folks. She can make a custom quilt, anything from the fit a king size bed all the way down just to like a little throw lap quilt. So if you just want something small, um, reach out to us. Say I want a lap quilt this big, and she can quote you a custom price on it. Easy peasy, nice and easy.
Yep. And I'm even going to do them in like wall hanging sizes. So you can hang
Mm-hmm.
them up on the walls as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get them together with some nice warm batting in the inside of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I quilt the tops to the backs in a neat design.
Yeah.
I think on the dragon quilt was a flame.
Flame pattern.
Yep.
And the flame, what she means by that, folks, is when the quilt's all done, a large sewing machine called a Larmar quilting machine, what does it sews a specific pattern all over the quilt. So when you're looking at it, it looks like it's sewn together, but when you turn it over and you can see that pattern, like she just did one called the Binks quilt. And it was for the black cat we just bought. She got her this summer. We named it Binks, like in what's that movie called? Hocus Pocus.
Hocus Pocus.
And the thread is like an orange, but the back of the quilt is like a darker grayish smoky black. And if you look at it, it's like got like a spider web pattern and moons and stars. It's really cool. And these are truly, and I'm not just talking it up because my beautiful wife made it, but these are truly heirloom quality quilts.
Yeah.
This isn't mass produced crap out of China. This is like heirloom, good quality, good stuff.
Yeah, I did spend a lot of time down
Yeah.
in the sewing room, the dungeon,
yeah,
creating quilts.
Yep.
It's quite relaxing.
Yeah, and she's good at it. So, okay, good. Just to let people know, Voldemort is in the chat. I have him muted so I can see his chat comments. So we did have a visitor, but his chats can't be seen. But he did make an interesting comment I'd like to address. He said, your dice bags are all made and bought in China. Do not lie. No, they're not. They're handmade. Right here in good old Battle Creek, Michigan. Can't get any.
Which sewing machine did I use?
Yeah, which one downstairs? Yeah. So
I'm sorry, I only have 2 or 3.
Yep. Just to show you an idea of something, coffee mugs. This is the how good a quality that we print in. This is the quality of the mug. This is actually one of the mugs, and I did some custom Star Trek logos, patches on there. But for those of you, as you can see, it's not dull. It's actually baked into the cup. It doesn't come off. I've got Wizard Tower Games logo coffee cups, and they've been washed how many 100 times easy.
Yeah.
And they don't fade.
How long have we had them? We've had them a long time.
About a year now. Yeah, started doing that. So, and like I said,
they're great for chai tea.
Yeah, so the girls use them for their teas. Avid tea drinkers with the girls, and also my wife is coffee and chai tea, coffee in the morning, chai tea every night, and it is like brand new looking. So, if you order a cup, and we'll do anything. Like if you send us a photograph of your kid, we'll put your daughter, your son's, or whatever photograph on it. I'm actually making some custom ones for Tom at Tabletop Tap Room, and let's just put it this way: it's somebody with a binky in their mouth. So, so all kinds of fun stuff. But yeah, so basically that's the kind of stuff that we got going right now. Revamping the store to make it more clean looking, more organized looking. We are wanting to go ahead and also have more organized product within it. It's been a little bit of a dry spell getting new product out, but we've been developing a lot of stuff, and happily a lot of stuff is coming together at the same time. So we've been kind of dry on new product, but boom, all kinds of new stuff are coming out. Starting maybe next week, we're going to start talking about a thing called Life Tracker Pros. Life Tracker Pros is something that we developed about 10 years ago. We just never kind of got into manufacturing it. The first one, actually formal one, was made yesterday by me. They turned out beautiful. And they're basically, it's an organizer for people who want to stay like me, who are list makers or organize. We're going to have a weekly one, a monthly one you can choose from, and various themed one. We're going to have one for gamers for designing your own adventures and campaigns. Cal, how you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show. Scott Mulder says he could probably sell his own dice bags from the no tax hooch bags. Oh crap, that's right. His game company is bankrupt, defunct, and pariah. Too bad. Scott, I don't know who you're talking about, but karma cometh thy way eventually. So that's basically what we're doing is you're going to see the new store up here this weekend, along with new product, revamped up product, more product. There's other stuff we haven't even announced yet. Stay tuned to our social media, and also stay tuned to our YouTube, because we're actually going to start doing some focalized advertisements where it's not me talking. It's going to be like a regular advertisement for a product. So it'll show, like, as an example, a Wheel of Life, and it'll show how it operates and does, along with the link to purchase it and all that. Cal says, I got to go back to another hobby stream, but I'll catch us later on. Cal, we're getting ready to get off anyways. Enjoy. Thank you for swinging by and saying hello. So, we're at 52 minutes. We've almost burned an hour here.
We are.
Yep. So, everybody, if you haven't voted, get out there. I think the polls closed, don't they? At 9? They've closed?
Ours closed at 8.
Okay. Well, ladies and gentlemen, if you voted, good for you. If you haven't, it happens. But, just do me a favor, everybody. And I'm guilty of this too. We let our passions of politics sometimes get the best of us. I have not been not known to open up my big fat mouth sometimes when I shouldn't. People are allowed to vote for who they want to. And you ought to be respected, because that's the American way. You can vote for who you want. Scott says, did Voldemort spell dice bags correctly? I don't know. That's a coin flip. I mean, dice and bag, that's a very complicated turn of words for certain people. But so everybody, thank you for tuning into my video. Again, go to goblinsgames.com, goblinsgames.com. Sign up. It's a web form. It's designed. You can sell things in there. You can do you can sell your RPG and gaming related items in there. I'm making it like my old Goblins games. It's going to change a little bit, because like on the front page, on the bottom, is going to be like a full calendar where you're going to be able to see like all the coming game conventions by area and such. So go to goblinsgames.com, sign up. Let's talk. You're going to see me. I am the admin there. I'm known as Nod the Goblin. Why they call me Nod? It's a game I used for my half-goblin character back when I was a younger kid too. What is Nod? It's Don spelled backwards. So I am Nod the Goblin, your friendly neighborhood admin there. So again, everybody, thank you for tuning in tonight with my beautiful wife, Tina. I'm blessed to have her in my life.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a great night, everyone.
I tell her she's beautiful every day. But everybody, enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Happy gaming. And again, swing on over, sign up for my Patreon. We'll do gaming every month. And also, I have not got many people wanting to do it. Drop me a PM either personally or on my Facebook business page if you want me to run a D&D game monthly for everybody. I'd be happy to play a game online, have fun, and enjoy. So Thyatis, Scott, Cal, everybody, thank you for tuning in. I'm Don. This is my wife, Tina.